Am I wrong for thinking that donating 10% of your gross income is crazy? My wife and I are in our mid-30s. We just got married these past 3 months. She dropped a bombshell on me today and said she wanted to give 10% of our gross income to a local church. Some info about us. We are both Christian, her more so than me. I was born and raised Catholic, but I do not go to church particularly often. For part of my childhood, we were lower, then firmly middle class. I think my wife grew up relatively well off. We both have college degrees and both recently received new jobs and promotions and are starting to make more money. We are in our mid-30s. For the past several years, we didn't live paycheck to paycheck, but there wasn't a whole lot of extra money. We have some amount of savings, $30K, between the both of us. We do not have kids. We just started retirement accounts 2 years ago in our early mid-30s, and there isn't much in them. We don't own a house, we rent. We both own cars that are 10 hers and 18 mine years old. We have maybe 10K, will spike to 15K this month for medical bills, in household debt, and I alone just finished paying off 80K in college student loans last year. I paid them off myself. I am thankful for the interest pause during COVID. She had no student loans due to familial support. She is wanting to have 4 kids within the next 1 to 6 years. Kids that will presumably need babysitters round the clock. We have no nearby family. We live in a medium to high COL metropolitan area, and the average 3-bedroom house is $700K. A 3-bedroom with a garage is $800K. A 4-bedroom house with a garage is well over $1 million. Easily. With our promotions combined, our household income will make us comfortable. We would make probably $150K each, including year-end bonuses. This is double what we used to each make. But am I crazy for thinking that 10% of our gross household income is a rather large amount to just give away? My first instinct is, look, if we won the lottery like this, why wouldn't we first make sure we could pay for our kids' college in 18 years? Why wouldn't we just fund our retirement accounts so we catch up with other people our age? Or buy a house? Or buy a new car that isn't almost 20 years old? We are both in our mid-late 30s and aren't getting any younger. If we want to have 4 kids, support them all, pay for their college, raise them well, and also, retire, that all takes money. 10% of our gross income, $30K a year, invested in the stock market over 30 years, is probably going to be well over $1 million. As I was writing this and went to Google and punched in some numbers, it's like $3 to $4 million at an 8% rate of return over 30 years. And even if it came down to it, I would probably prefer to put money like this into a fund or a trust fund of sorts so my kids could have the safety net that I never had. Intel just laid off 15% of their workforce, which will definitely affect people in our surrounding area. I still remember the 2008 financial crisis and how it affected my family. I feel like the economy is on the cusp of a major recession. Our jobs are semi-stable, but the risk of downsizing and layoffs is always there. I have plenty of family and friends that have been on the job hunt for months now and are hurting. I literally just paid off my student loans, and it took me several years of living well below my means, so I get it. I don't know anyone right now who is able and willing to give 10% of their gross income like that away with all this inflation and the cost of living. I have plenty of colleagues and friends that would never be able to afford a house in our city. Am I wrong for feeling uncomfortable, for thinking that donating $30K a year, aka $4 million in the stock market over 30 years, is just a tiny bit irresponsible when we barely have any retirement savings and she wants to start a large family? I just want to know if maybe my way of thinking is wrong and if there is something I need to learn or reflect upon. She's telling me that her family gave 10% of their gross income growing up and everyone she knew did the same. I would be shocked if that was the case. Is this the norm, or did we just grow up in different worlds? My wife read the above and also wanted to add the following points. She said that her viewpoint is she feels like she has seen this example of tithing benefit and work for people around her growing up, and it's a tax deduction. She's telling me that her family gave 10% of their income growing up, and every other church member did the same, and had testimonies of how they weren't struggling financially due to the tithing. She states that, again, either the church or the IRS gets it. I have told her time and time again that any money you donate is simply just a charitable deduction, and you would have to donate over, I believe, 28K, 2023 numbers, I think. Just to itemize, and beat the standard deduction. I have also told her that donating $1K just to save $200 in taxes is absurd because you would still be losing $800 overall. She is very much adamant that I am wrong and that everyone donates and just takes it off their taxes. I am not sure if she understands how taxes work, but again, this whole idea of donating $30K a year when she has no retirement savings, doesn't own a house, and wants 4 kids in her mid-30s, I think is extremely irresponsible. Am I wrong in thinking donating $30K a year is absolutely bonkers given the above? Edit. To add some more updates. We had a later argument after the above. I had brought up the point that a lot of people don't have a lot of money. You can't give a church money if you don't have any. For a lot of families, you can't give 10% if you're on food stamps. I said, metaphorically, that if I had to choose between paying a power bill so my kids wouldn't freeze to death in the winter and paying 10% of our gross paycheck to the church down the street, I would 100% feed my kids and clothe and make them comfortable before a single cent went elsewhere. I asked her if she would let her kids go without in order to give money to her church, and she didn't give me a real answer, but told me I had a scarcity mindset, and that everyone she knows donates 10% of their income to their local church, no matter what. The scarcity mindset thing probably has a hint of truth, but she also wasn't the one who just paid off $80K in student loans, or is driving a nearly 20-year-old car. I don't recall her offering to donate 10% of her income to help pay off my loans either. And I definitely wouldn't put my kids in such a situation in order to donate. We definitely aren't on the same page about this, and I suspect it's going to turn into a bigger issue than I expected. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more incredible Reddit tales. Share your thoughts or your own experiences in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring those amazing stories.